Hi there, my name is Dee. I'm a New Zealander living in Australia. I'm in Melbourne and I am a project manager by day and a miniature maker by night, really. And as I mentioned in the comment that I dropped in the Facebook group, I thought it might be interesting to see how I use those project management skills to kind of stay on top of my embarrassingly ever-growing stash of projects that I still want to do and to kind of keep note of the ones that I have done. So this is it. Now, I'm a project manager in the digital space. So the tools and stuff that I'm using are computer-based. That may be a challenge for some. I know that that doesn't come naturally or easily to everybody. It's also, this is not the only way to do it. The tools that I'm using are not the only tools that are available. You could probably just as easily keep track of what you've done in a spreadsheet. This tool that I'm using, a tool called Notion, just puts a little bit more of a more kind of flexible layer over the top of it so you can see. So this is a project within my Notion dashboard. So Notion is free. You can install it. It's probably a little overwhelming when you first get started. But what I think I did when I first started out, it's been a while now, but I think I found a template that somebody else was using to keep a database of things that they were doing and have basically customized it to make it work for me. So the whole goal of this is really for me to be able to see what I've done, to keep all of the information about my projects in one place, to keep track of the ones that I still want to do, but I haven't yet purchased. I also have links to a Dropbox where I store all of my scans of every project paper and documentation. So before I even get started on working on a model, I will scan all of the paper that comes with it. So the instruction booklet, because I will often actually work from the instructions on my computer screen rather than trying to use my the book that comes, partly because it's just easier to see if it's up on the screen in front of me, partly because my office desk doubles as my hobby desk after hours, and so everything's there in one place, and I've got limited room, so having to have space for an open book is problematic. But I also scan all of the other loose papers that come. So all of the cutouts. So I scan those at high res so that if the unthinkable happens and I need them, I can reprint them, which I've just had to do with Paris Midnight. I lost some pieces that I'd already cut out and so had to go and reprint them. I also scan the papers with the outlines of all of the wooden pieces, again, so that if I did lose the paper, I can actually have it available. And as it happens, if you did find yourself without one, and it's one of the ones that I've done, I'm more than happy to share those PDFs with you if you did find yourself needing those for the same sort of reasons. But when I buy a new project, or when I buy a new kit rather, I will add it to this ever-growing list of available projects to do that are either completed, which I have marked with these green check marks. So these are the ones that I've done. And in each individual item, each individual kit, I've got some data that I can access here. So I've got the status as to when it was finished. I've got the publisher of it, got the product code, mostly because I just like having an individual number for each thing. I don't know that it really matters, but it's useful. I saw in the spreadsheet that was shared today, somebody else has done a similar, has got that similar listing. I think too, if I was searching online to find projects that I don't yet have, it would make things easier to find. I can write a summary of how the project went. I haven't actually done that, but I could if I wanted to. I can mark the difficulty out of 5. I can, and I've documented what each type of box that I have, and I've got several categories there: book nook, shop, diorama for some of the bigger projects that aren't necessarily Robotime ones. None of those are arbitrary. Anybody could name them whatever you like, but if it helps or is interesting for you to categorize them, that's a way that you can do it. And one of the lovely things about Notion is that you can, all of the data is the same, like each individual project capture, I have all of the same information, but I have different ways that I can show it off. So this is my finished Ada's studio. So I can store images either of photos that other people have provided. This one is actually my one, I think. Yep, that's my living room in the background. This is Sam's study. I haven't uploaded finished. Oh, maybe I have. Yeah, this is my version of Sam's study. So you can see some kind of customizations I did there. I found a print that I liked and made my own fabric, which I would do differently next time. But yeah, so I can change the views. So I can see them all here a bit smaller, so you can see the full image. I can filter them by if I was only wanting to show the ones that I have in progress. This is probably a bit redundant. I only ever have one on the go at a time, so that filter is a bit redundant. But if I wanted to have a look at which ones I've got ready to go, these are the ones that are sitting on the shelf. I can also view them in what may be familiar to anybody who's worked in project management, what is called a Kanban board, and you can see the kind of pipeline of not yet purchased, ordered, ready to start, in progress, and the ones that I've finished. And then I've also got a table here if I wanted to have them listed like a little bit more like a spreadsheet. And then you can, of course, order them by any of those. Why is this helpful? Maybe it isn't. It helps me. I feel a little bit like a collector, I guess. So I like being able to catalog what I've got, what I've done. And when you these links here, of course, the links off to my Dropbox. So I'll show you what I also do there. This is before I even pull the plastic bags out of the box. I pull the paper out of the box and I scan all of the documents. So here's the instructions for Alice. It take a little while to download because they're quite high. The instruction books are probably a bit too high res. They don't need to be printable, and so it's a lot easier for me to sit here and look at that screen rather than actually try and do that looking down at the desk. And then all the various types of papers. And again, I scan these at 300 and I print them at 100% so that they're the right size. I make sure that the scans that I do are not bigger than what would be A4 or A3 paper sizes. With one I did recently, when I'd scanned it, one of the pieces was across the cut. So I had to then use the Photoshop to mash them together later so that I could then print it out. Because of course the one item that didn't print or that I had lost was the one that I needed to actually do a bit more heavy duty editing to make it work. I label them all according to the names on these here so that they're easy to find. And so if anybody said, hey, I need this paper, I can do a search and I can find it. And all of that has moved from Notion, and that's all just showing what's in Dropbox. It doesn't have to be Dropbox, could be Google Drive, could be files on your computer. Technically, those would be less available publicly, but yeah. So yeah, if this is interesting to you, I can probably export or figure out, I haven't figured out yet how you can actually share this or turn this into something that could be a template. If you're wanting to have an experiment with it yourself. I can also share this online so that you could actually follow the link to actually have a little look and a play with it. And I might do that now. I won't leave that up forever, but we'll make that available so you can have a little bit of a look at it and poke around and see if it's something that's interesting to you. I hope it's interesting. even if it doesn't become something that you choose to do. But I always get a little bit interested about seeing what's going on behind the scenes in somebody else's hobby space or workshop. So maybe this is something I'll do a bit more of in the future, but I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.